Good evening, dear friends. So we are continuing our Christmas Advent. I'm telling you the stories about the Christmas composers who were actually born in Ukraine. So number one video clip is, of course, should be about number one Christmas song, and you will now understand what song I'm talking about. So now, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's Christmas. Of course, everybody is traveling. You can go, for example, to Australia, and you arrive at airport in Canberra. And the first thing you hear in the airport is what? It's na 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 na, right? Then you go to Germany. You arrive to Munich. It's a huge airport hub. It's not even an airport, it's just a hub. And you come there, and the first thing you hear is na 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 na, right? Then you go to London, and in Heathrow, the first thing you hear is na 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 na. And then you go to Santiago de Chile, and the first thing you hear in the airport is na 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 na. Of course, it's the song which the whole world is calling the Carol of the Bells. But we Ukrainians, it's a little bit different because we are at war. We do not travel. But still we're thinking about Christmas composers, you know. So before the war, we used to do this for fun, for example. You go, for Christmas, you go to Europe. Us Ukrainians, we go to Europe. So for example, you arrive to Spain, and you go on the street and you hear this, you know, na 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 na. So basically you stop any first gentleman on the street and you say, stop, what is the song and who is the composer? And any gentleman who you stopped, he would say, oh, it's a very ancient folklore. Or sometimes they should say, it's an ancient British folklore. Okay, then you go to Belgium, for example, and then again, na 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 na, and you stop any person, any man or any lady, and you say, okay, what is the song and who is the composer? Oh, say Belgian people, it is very ancient folklore. Okay, right? Okay. First, it's not ancient. Second, it's not folklore. It's a song, it's a composition which is written by a Ukrainian composer. The name of the composer is Mykola Leontovich. This is the person who wrote number one Christmas song that was, it's statistically proven that this song was mostly of times, it was in radio transmissions. Many hundreds of orchestras have recorded this song. Hundreds of singers, opera singers, rock singers, blues singers, jazz singers have sung the Carol of the Bells. Well, Mykola Leontovich, you know, he was born in Ukraine, and actually, half of his time he spent in the eastern parts of Ukraine. He was teaching music in eastern parts of Ukraine. And right now we have so-called you know, experts on Ukraine, I mean international experts on Ukraine, who say, for example, first what they say, Ukraine is a buffer state, which is not, because we're a country. And second of all, they say, eastern parts of Ukraine, they never were speaking Ukraine. I mean, how it's possible? The Carol of the Bells, actually, the Carol of the Bells is not the real name. Carol is the human name. The real name of the song is Shedrick, okay? Or sometimes it's Shedrick. So how it is possible to say that the eastern parts of Ukraine are not speaking Ukrainian, when more than 100 years ago, Mykola, if the American people or the British people are really so much obsessed about the money, let's talk about the money, for example, right? Okay, I'm a Ukrainian. We are in the war, so I'm sorry that I'm a little bit nervous when I'm talking about this. I didn't prepare to talk about this, but it's just I think about it, you know. So let's talk about money. Carol of the Bells, according to statistics, have earned millions of gazillions of dollars in marketing, because it is statistically proven. All the marketologists of the world will tell you that if you want to sell something on Christmas, anything from elite perfumery to a shoe shop, right? If you want to sell something, you put it together with the Carol of the Bells and you will sell it. It's statistically proven that the Carol of the Bells is #1 top used Christmas songs in Hollywood. Okay? It is statistically proven that Carol of the Bells is #1 Christmas songs of all the libraries, of all the countries, of all the planet, of all the cosmic system of the world. So you can imagine how many dollars and British pounds, gazillions of dollars, was earned by the song which was written by the humble Ukrainian composer, which was born in Ukraine. So you are telling us, Ukrainians, so is this gazillion of dollars, do they give us Ukrainians the right to prove that the Eastern Ukraine, the people were speaking Ukrainian? Because more than 100 years ago, Mykola Leontovich was teaching them music in Ukrainian language. It was more than 100 years ago. I'm really sorry for my emotional outburst. I wasn't prepared to say this. It just came to my mind. But this is Christmas. You know, Christmas is not only about fun. Christmas is also, you know, about thinking. Christmas is the birthday of Jesus Christ, for God's sake. So what I would advise you to do is, when you are now walking in the streets of the world, if you are you can be in Australia, you can be in Great Britain, you can be in the United States, you can be in Peru, for example, or in Argentina. It doesn't matter. Everywhere you hear Shedrick. Shedrick. This is the real name, okay? So you just stop for 2 minutes, okay? And think about this. The real name of this song is Shedrick. It was written by a Ukrainian composer. The Ukrainian composer's name is Mykola Leontovich. And what is very, very important, Mykola Leontovich was killed by KGB. Okay? He received tortures for protecting the human values. He received tortures for protecting the human rights. That is what all of the artists are doing. This is the mission of composers, and this is the mission of all musicians of the world. And the humble composer from Ukraine, probably there is the reason why he wrote the song that is #1 popular in Hollywood, in the United States, in any shop. And actually #2 is Tchaikovsky, which is popular, which is also a Ukrainian composer, which is popular for not rocker, but okay, it's just came to my mind. But anyway, he's #2 on popularity. But #1 is still Carol of the Bells. So would you please think about this? You know, right now it's very important time of the year. Everybody is going home. Everybody is going to see their friends. Everybody is having fun. Our country is in war. Okay? So just think about it. Think about it. Think about a humble composer that wrote #1 top, the most beautiful Christmas song in world. And he was humbly teaching his students in the eastern areas of Ukraine in Ukrainian language. And he was teaching music, you know, to protect human values. This was clip number 1. I'm sorry for my emotional outburst, but I just needed to say that. And I will see you tomorrow, and we will talk about Christmas composers that were born in Ukraine.